Sure.
Sure. Well, thank you everybody for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Main Street and Fly on the Wall Productions. Had a little bit of a rough start
We
today.
made it.
We
made it.
Raylene and Alice, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, fine. Now that the tension is over.
I know. I'm very
Perfect.
sorry. I'm very sorry.
We were over here humming the Jeopardy tune.
Do, 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 do,
It didn't seem to be helping you any.
No, it didn't. I do apologize for everybody. I somehow locked myself out of the account, so therefore everything just went haywire. So
I told everybody that we were going to stream from Aired Out only.
Oh, we are streaming from Aired Out.
Right. And the rest of them,
and
too.
the rest of them, too.
Right.
Yep.
But that's all right. That's good.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
will
good.
get to tune in if they want to.
We're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We're
We're
here.
here. That's all that matters. So just letting folks know, Raylene may have to skedaddle at 9 p.m. So
Yes.
apologize for that. And with that, Alice, do you want to give us our school board update?
School board meeting on March 27th at 6 p.m. Spalding High School. And you can also sign in by going to the BUUSD webpage, finding the agenda for the meeting, and clicking on the Google Meet.
I will say it is difficult to find things
It
on
is.
the
It's
BUUSD
not
website.
easy
so
to
you
find
have
that
go
link.
To,
Okay.
You have to go to BUUSD.org, then
Mm-hmm.
click on board.
First district.
District,
First
that's
district.
right. And then you
Then
got to click
board.
on the board, and then you got to click on the minutes.
Meetings and minutes and agendas.
Agendas.
Yeah.
And then you have to click on the board, and then you have to click on the agenda.
For the
So
date,
it
for the
does-
27th.
It does get a little sketchy.
Maybe that's done by design.
I hope not.
No, but I think you can also find it on Front Porch Forum as well. There
Oh,
may be
yeah, that's
There
true.
may be a posting there, but
And
it's
on the
worth
Facebook
the effort
page.
to find it.
And on the Facebook page.
Yep. So some things we're going to talk about. There's the usual routine things of approving the minutes and good things like that. Public comment. Public comment is very important because we often don't have anyone who comments. So if you have something that isn't on the agenda that you need to say, something about what kids are doing, what's happening in the community, how you feel about the weather, that's public comment. Although school boards have very little control over the weather.
Yes, this is very true.
Yes, but that. And then opportunities for students as well, that if students have something to say, I understand the drama club has some good things going on, so if anyone from the drama club would like to come in and tell us what you're up to, that would be fine. And then routine, regular minutes, warrant approval, policies, audit. We'll hear from the auditors. Final audit approval of the fiscal year 23 review.
So I
And-
think that one is just to approve the audit, because there
Right.
was a conversation about having the audit approved. So we just put it under the consent
agenda. So it's
to just approve it.
That's just a lump of things, but it gives an idea of what the procedures that school boards have to go through. Then there are building reports, all the good things that are going on at Barre City Elementary, Middle School, Barre Town, Spalding High School, and the C building up on Allen Street. Superintendent report, Mr. Hennessy will provide us with what he's been doing and what the anticipated events of the school are. And then we move into current business, which is really extremely important. That's the really active work of the board. So a couple of the big things are that we do have community members who have volunteered to be on various school committees, like the curriculum committee, the policy committee, the financial facilities, that those folks are going to be coming in for interviews. So we will be chatting with all of those fine people who have come forward offering their services to be on the various committees. Then after that's completed, we need to talk about the superintendent search process. As everybody should know by now, our superintendent has resigned, and we need to go out into the world and look for a replacement, which is extremely important. Huge event for any community to hire a superintendent of schools. It has to be done not only in a timely fashion, but it has to be done well.
So can I follow up and ask you a
Sure.
question on that? Because this is not your first time on this merry-go-round, correct? How many times have you been part of a superintendent search?
In my entire career, or just here? Well,
I'm going to go with the entire career because
In my
it's the experience is the reason why you're on the
Right.
board and why you should be there. So
through my entire experience, this is the 5th time that I have been involved with the superintendent search.
and how many times in BUUSD?
This will be the 2nd
This will be the second. So the first one I assume was David Wells.
with Mr. Wells, yes.
And that one was done. How was that process done?
That was done with the help of a local association, the Vermont School Board Association, and their person who assisted us was the one who did all the advertising, did all the paper screenings, and then presented us with candidates to go through the process of community interviews, school district interviews, and ultimately board interviews.
And the one for Mr. Hennessy?
Mr. Hennessy was found by the board that his name was brought to the board by members of the board, and we did not use an outside consultant for that.
So the 3 options, I know there's like 4 options because Washington Central did a headhunter. And of course that's always an option to do, but it wasn't in the packet. The majority options were having the HR do it all in-house. The other was VSBA, and the other one is one of your favorites.
New England School Development Council.
Yeah, and they had a pretty substantial packet that or pretty substantial
Right.
process that they offer.
Because the New England School Development Council is different from anything else, from a private headhunter or an association such as the VSBA. Then they are purely interested in having things done right for schools. They are not lobbyists. They are not. They themselves are not policy people. If you need assistance with policy, they can assist you with finding consultants in that area. But they are basically trainers and searchers to make sure that schools have things done right. That's the biggest star in their crown to do that. So I think that's important that they focus on that. They can cast a wide net, which I have always insisted is the right thing to do. And I think that also something that's very important to say is that in casting a wide net, you find people who are truly involved in education and want the best for education regardless of where they come from. And I think the most recent find in that area is our new Secretary of Education, who's coming in from Florida. And that's a really strong advertisement for casting your nets widely, because you never know where you're going to find someone who is the best fit for your school district. And I've seen that before. I've seen that people come from other states, other areas, and they might say, well, they don't know Vermont, but they know education, and then they can catch up with Vermont with what it's doing. And I think that's what we're looking for in our new superintendent. We're looking for a person who knows education, knows leadership, knows how to approach the whole venue of education, and that will be very important. And that's why I believe that if we have a really good search agent, that will be a good thing for us.
And like you said, a big net is education. I mean, like you said, that's a big scope.
It is
of different
huge.
things. There's many pieces to that puzzle.
It is. There's a big piece to it, and the leadership piece is extremely important because my belief is that our district really needs to have a leader who understands not only the in-house factors of student achievement, teacher morale, facilities, and has an understanding of that, but also understands the needs of the community. And we saw that on town meeting day, that was a tremendous message from the community.
So Megan Spalding is asking, does that mean that the other ways are wrong? And you just shook her head. No, definitely not the case. There's different options that are available. Like I said, Washington Central went with
A private
headhunter, and I can't remember the name, but it is in the.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but there's.
Deweese and Deweese.
Yes, that's
from
what it was.
Montpelier.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's definitely, it's not necessarily wrong. They're just different options for
Right.
that the school board will have an opportunity to opine on.
Yeah, and there is no right or wrong. It's just a matter of
Thank
choosing
you for asking that.
what's
by the way.
best.
All right.
Okay, so we go on, and then from that, we talk about the New England School Development Council and what it means to be an affiliate, what it means to have them do our search, and then the big question of the budget. That's going to be a huge discussion with the re-up of the budget, the revote, taking into consideration all the different possibilities that there are for offerings and the revote. Some would people who say just put it back up again as it is. Some who want to just have a very minimal decrease in the budget, and others who are looking to have a significant decrease in the budget.
And an in-depth conversation. I think there are many people that would like to see it have an in-depth conversation and relook.
Yeah, with what is there, what was there, what could be there, and what it all means to the community as well as to the school district, because there has to be some empathy. These are very difficult economic times for everyone, and that to be taken into consideration is extremely important.
And anytime you start talking about cuts, no matter what those cuts are, I mean, that's a very sensitive subject, but not all of them are as frightening as they sound.
No, they aren't. And what it does, though, it should do, is it should inspire people, community members, parents, teachers, business people. It should inspire them to ask sort of the John F. Kennedy question, that don't ask what the school can do for you, but what can you do for the school? And so if there's going to be a financial commitment to reduce the budget, what can community members, parents, and the PTOs, I am just so impressed at how the PTOs in the elementary, middle schools have really revamped themselves and come up this year, and it's just wonderful to see all the things that they are doing. So have them continue, have the community really participate in the school system, and what can they do to assist. And from inside the school, how can we teach differently? What is going to change with instructional practices that you can change instructional practices, but it doesn't involve a whole lot of money. May not involve any money to do that. So those are the things that are inspired by a budget cut and working with it and the understanding. And then since we're just getting rolling, the committee reports are really non-existent at this point because a lot of them haven't met. Although I must say, the Career Center Board met. I'm on the Career Center Board.
On that? Oh.
Yes, the Career Center Board met, and they had their organizational meeting, and we're moving forward.
Good.
Right. Now you're on finance, correct?
No, I'm on.
You're not.
I'm on curriculum and the Career Center Board. I'm the delegate to the Career Center Board.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. Anything else on the school board stuff?
That pretty much sums it up. It's going to be an interesting meeting, and we will go forward, and we will do what we need to do as a board.
I hope to see more community members this time. The last meeting that I attended was more like a staff meeting than anything. And bless their hearts for working all day and then staying on there and listening and going through all of that. I'm sure that many people's eyes are wide open and their ears are definitely perked up. But I just really wish that more community members would attend. It's so easy. If you can't be there in person, yes, it's long and it's drawn out, but it's your wallet and it's your kids and it's their education, and it's worth the 2 to 4 hours that you could possibly be listening. And I mean, you don't have to listen to the entire thing, but there are definitely some important things that I would really hope that more people would want to tune in and really understand and know a little more about and weigh in on.
And first person is always much better than waiting to read it in the newspaper the next day or 2 days later.
Right, how somebody else interpreted
right.
it.
So if you really want to know, you have the opportunity now through technology to really be part of the meeting, and that is extremely important.
Well, we'll touch base on city council stuff and certainly get to touch a couple things before Raylene goes. She's going to kill me. So we do have on the consent agenda the approval of the wastewater treatment upgrades and the City Hall HVAC replacement. Sorry, I'm looking over here, folks. The monitors on this side. So that's in the consent agenda. And that, of course, includes the 2024 coin drop, which one always is there every single time? Christmas for Kids.
Yes.
And then we also have and I have to zoom in because apparently I am old.
I know we have one coming up on the 13th because this morning Mark
That's
Tatro
right.
was here from the Lions Club, and they will be doing a coin drop on the 13th.
That's right.
So it was great having him in here this morning.
And Project Grad is going to be on May 4th. Then Central Vermont Special Olympics on July 6th. And July 27th, it says Heritage Festival, no coin drops. So I'm assuming that means there's no coin drops that week. And it's just blank. And then Kiwanis, August 3rd. And Barre Figure Skating Club, and that's on December 5th. And of course December 7th, which this year December 7th is pretty late, so and that would mean that we need to get as much money as we possibly can so that we can get those presents. It will be a pretty
kind of. I wonder if that's a typo.
No, I don't think so. It doesn't.
Well,
oh wait, no. Is it usually the first Saturday? So it must be December 1st, right? One Saturday,
I
Sunday,
guess.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Can I mention
that's right.
something else that's coming up?
Sure.
But it's coming up right now and has nothing to do with coin drops. Am I allowed to do that?
You can always say something.
All right. So, because this is pretty important, it's the Barre Rotary pie brunch, the community pie brunch or breakfast, whatever you want to call it. It's 11 to 1. And The Nicole Domenico was put a post out earlier that they were looking for some people to donate some pies, so I'm going to make a couple for them. So if anybody wants to donate some pies, they're looking for people to do that, and you can reach out to the Barre Rotary for that. And the breakfast is going to be April 6th, again, from 11 to 1.
Nice.
Pie. I love pie.
Yeah.
We are going to have a supplemental environmental project proposal, which is going to be presented by Michelle Braun and Danielle Orzarski. Then, of course, we're going to have the 2025 budget update, which,
All these budgets.
That's
all
frightening.
important.
yeah, so as many know, the flood really kicked our rear end, right? And all the money that we collect, or that everything that goes into our budget comes directly out of our community, not like the education where you put a budget out there and then it comes out of the ed fund and they do some weird, strange,
It all goes into a pot
Yeah.
and then is recalculated and redistributed.
Yeah, and
But
for the city,
cities are
it's
different.
Exactly what it is. It comes from city folks, and we're looking at which isn't terrible. We've had worse, certainly, but a 4.8% tax rate increase, which equals about a 10-cent increase. But given the fact that we were devastated by a flood, buildings were destroyed.
And you were thinking that it was going to be way more of an increase than that.
We were thinking that, so this is far better. Yeah. And then, of course, we've got the housing conversation, which is coming back up again. We're going to have the conversation about creating a $250,000 revolving loan fund. The mayor
I thought
was...
somebody said that was a really bad idea.
Yes. So
Amy Gaylord, maybe. No.
It wasn't that it was a bad idea. It was difficult to maintain. And I don't know, that's something we're going to have a more in-depth conversation about tomorrow. There's a direct the city attorney to draft a short-term rental ordinance with fee structure, which I understand as being Airbnb. So I'm not really familiar with the Airbnbs in our community. Are you?
Oh, I know they exist for sure. There are a lot of properties that are for short-term housing for nurses that are coming to work, the traveling nurses that we all hear about a lot that come here. There are executive that travel for National Life, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, all sorts of reasons that people come here and stay short-term.
So...
And I think it qualifies for just renting your room, too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a traveler or an exec. It could be just somebody literally looking to rent a room in your home.
Well, I know because I went into Airbnb, and because I was curious just how many Airbnbs are here in Barre. It was about 4 if you include the Maplecroft.
Well, that's a real Airbnb, though. But are they talking about short-term rentals, or are they talking about only Airbnbs?
Not entirely sure. It'll be interesting to see how that goes down, because I don't know. I mean, we already, rooms, meals, we have the tax for that. I think it's more. It's obviously going to be more about people renting out their homes. I'm assuming that the Maplecroft would not, or the Reynolds house would not qualify because they're already under.
They're a business.
They're
Those
right.
are businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume as well. But
if you
I
go
would
on to Airbnb,
I would love it if
that's the buildings that are available.
How about we figure out a way to do a fee and a tax for the blighted buildings?
And you want to be careful, too, that you're not shutting out the traveling nurses and the locum tenens
Exactly.
doctors who might need a short-term rental, which is not a weekend. You know, they would be here for short-term rather than permanent, but
Or even a teacher coming in that is looking for housing
Right.
still, but they've come, or the superintendent or somebody like that. You want to really make sure who
So-
you're, kicking out of the box.
Yeah, you want to differentiate between short-term rentals and it's a terrible expression, but it's called transient tourists. And so the transient tourists are the overnights and the weekends and that kind of thing.
And then another part of the housing meeting follow-up actions is to authorize the manager to put a letter of interest out there for the Campbell Place parking lot, which is the parking lot basically right next to North Seminary. So there's that. And then, of course, we've got the reading of the mending of the substantial improvement, which is something that Tom spoke about, and how our folks down on the north end that are struggling and they're getting these letters of over $50,000, and everybody's like, well, we got $50,000 worth of damage, but that's, you know, it's unfortunate because then they have to do all this stuff. And if we lower that to, or not lower it, but make it so that $50,000 does not apply, it would just mean half the house value, which is a considerable relief to those that are dealing with this substantial damage issue.
Absolutely. It makes sense.
Yep. And then we're going to discuss
Da, da, da. Ding, ding, ding.
charter changes.
Yes. Yes.
You excited that you've been like finally they've given up on people have given up removing
I'm
you?
happy that they have come to their senses.
Yeah. So the
Too many people would have been removed,
yeah.
and it was not a good thought. It was not a good decision for the city as a whole.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things that the making it so that only city residents could be on committees has been removed from the charter conversation, just because it would in effect destroy the cemetery committee. Half of the civic center committee would be gone, and you know, there was some
The
significant
police
concern
advisory
about that.
committee.
Oh, police advisory has Bob in there, and who is a sponsor of the
Nelson Ace
Now
Hardware.
podcast. Yeah.
I'm not used to doing sponsor stuff on the show at night. You have to, I have to get used to that, you know.
I know. We'll have to work on it.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. I need to just put commercials in the middle, just like random 30 second
30-second
Please.
reels.
second
Yeah,
commercials.
30-second
Yes.
reels. That would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we could, and Tina just joined in. Tina Ruthier, who is
Also
a sponsor with
Ruthier Quick Lube.
Yep.
And
Jerry's
Jerry's
Sports
Sports
Tavern.
But I was trying to say the rest of the name as I'm like gagging on my own spit over here. But yes, Ruthier's and Jerry's are both sponsors of the podcast.
Yep.
We love them.
We do.
And I love Tina to pieces too,
Yeah,
and I miss her, and
she's
I wish she
amazing.
would come home. All my girls left at once. Rosemary and Tina both took off at the same time. What the hell?
It's not okay.
No, it's not okay at all. I'm stuck here with all you asshats.
And the snow.
That's not very nice.
They don't have any.
Hey.
They don't have any snow either.
No,
They missed
have
it.
beautiful, warm weather,
Well, Rosemary's
beaches.
coming home though.
They have they have machines that do their pineapples for them. Just chuck it in the machine, comes out all ready for you.
Whatever.
Living the life.
So I will say regarding the charter changes, we still have
The 16
16
and
and
17 year
17-year-olds.
olds voting.
Ready? For those that don't know, that's more cowbell.
Yeah. Good Lord.
More cowbell. Do you know that reference?
Probably not.
So if folks that don't know the reference about more cowbell, you have to go to Saturday Night Live. You have to YouTube Saturday Night Live. More cowbell.
Is it the same thing as more bullshit or?
No.
Oh,
It's just,
okay.
It's like.
All right,
It's
I
like-
was just curious.
It's like, man, that's people are gonna get really annoyed by that. It'll be interesting. Like I'm not gonna lie. It's like an 84%, 26%, 84% of the people disapprove of 16 and 17-year-olds voting, and it's 26 actually approve
No,
it.
16.
Or 16. Oh yeah, I can't count.
16.
Look at that. That's the reason why you're in education, or you were in education.
I was just, well, maybe you were
Yes.
going for 110%.
Yeah.
I heard that somewhere. It was 84%
Yeah.
for against that kind of stuff. So it'll be
So-
interesting to see if it passes the city council. It'll be very, very interesting to see whether or not it passes the city council.
Well, I think it's possible that it's likely that it's going to pass the city council,
I don't know.
but I think it's unlikely that it'll pass the voters.
And Connie, yes, thank you. She
What?
says Christopher Walking. Yes, I got a fever for more cowbell.
I'm gonna have to look that up now.
You got it's amazing. Oh, Tina, it's not bad. It's great. It's a hilarious bit on Saturday Night Live. It's absolutely hilarious.
All right.
For podcasting, you definitely want to watch Seasons Eatings, because that's also pretty funny, and that one's inappropriate. Just letting
More
folks know.
inappropriate than we are.
You want to know what I was thinking? You're talking about 16 and 17-year-olds, and then you ring the cowbell, and I get this picture of the cows coming down from the mountains in Switzerland with all their cowbells and their flowers in their horns and everything, and I'm thinking herding 16 and 17-year-olds to the voting
to
booth
the voting booth.
with a cowbell.
Come on. Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got other charter changes in there, such as the removal of all the school information, which,
Clarify
considering the
that, because
fact-
remember last time you said that you got people really upset because they wanted to know what business the city had removing information when the schools were a
Correct.
entirety.
So years and years and years and years and years ago, the city actually owned the schools. Like it was owned by the city of Barre, like Ward 5, Brook Street. All those schools were owned by the city.
Yeah.
And they had charter language in there about how the municipality and the city were combined, or the municipality and the school system was combined in Barre City. With Act 46, and actually I think it started
Act 60
going,
before that.
Yeah, Act 60.
60, 60, yeah.
Yeah, before that it started going away, and Act 46 just, there's like no connection between the municipality and the school system. So we have old charter language that really doesn't belong in there, and needs to be removed. And unfortunately, our legislatures, legislative bodies, is not actually going through and just like updating everything, to be nice. Instead, we're having to go through it and remove it. So they passed this law. This is really dumb, right? So they passed this law to combine the schools and to take out this, the municipality completely, and then be like, oh, who cares about the charter language? Technically, charter is supposed to outweigh statute. So I'm just saying that, it should be removed.
Yes.
But they should fix it. And Raylene's taking off now. Bye, Raylene.
Because you don't want them
Bye-bye.
back.
But yeah, so there's that, and then there's also to appoint and remove treasurer and such assistant treasurer shall be deemed necessary, which just separates the treasurer from the clerk's position, which is, that just,
It's just
a thing
structural is
that-
what it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, not too much. You're saying bye?
Say goodbye to Raylene.
Bye, Raylene.
Have a nice evening for the rest of the evening.
We're almost done anyway, because we don't have anything else on the agenda.
Well, I
you
did
have anything?
indicate on my Facebook page that we might have a discussion about horses and puppies. Do you have
Do you
anything
want
to
to talk
say?
about horses and puppies?
puppies?
I can always talk about horses and puppies. Maybe not horses.
Oh, I am just so glad to see the Clydesdales back. In the Super Bowl, the Budweiser beer commercial, for I think 4 or 5 years they did not have the Clydesdales. And having been to St. Louis and visited the Anheuser-Busch brewery and the Grant Farm where they raised the Clydesdales, it was such a great thing to see the Clydesdales back because they are stunning.
Well,
And-
nice.
Yes, and then the puppies, we'll just hope that the puppies come back next year with that. And in the meantime, we have a new, well, he's not a new puppy, he's 5 years old. But
You get a puppy?
he's our new fur baby, fur adolescent who has come to live with us. So we have our 13-year-old hound dog and our 5-year-old labby and our ginger cat. So we are diverse.
I see that.
Yes. We have diversity.
Well, want to thank you for coming in, and bye, Raylene. She's completely gone. I thank her
Yes.
too, but she ain't here.
Always wonderful to have
yeah.
a group.
Yeah. So again, we're really sorry for starting late, and we'll definitely figure out what my computer problems are by the next time we're on. I'm not sure if it will be next week, but it might be. You never know. Always stay tuned to the Barre City Community fan page, the Barre Beat podcast page, and Aired Out. Certainly, you'll get whether or not we're going to be on. So, but we're almost on every other week. So, with that,
See you on Wednesday at the school board.
yes, absolutely, and tomorrow night at City Council. Have a wonderful evening, folks.
Good night, all.